In this recording, I'm going to show you guys how to do corona effects in Photoshop. Corona effects are those kind of heavenly sort of glows that you'll see. They're usually in photography created with special lights, and in Photoshop, most of the times or most attempts that I've seen when they try to do this, they try to use it using the outer glow feature. I'm going to make this really kind of large. And you can kind of see how it creates a sort of banding sort of effect, and it's never really an effective, it even kind of covers up the shadow a bit. It's never really an effective way to create those kind of heavenly glows, if you will. And as I've said to my students in class and probably through some of these tutorials, Photoshop works best when you can't tell it's been used. So this outer glow isn't really going to do what we needed to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer. I'm going to leave it at normal. I'm going to go to my custom shapes tool. And in my shapes tool, you can do this. You really want to kind of use like bursts and things like that. So I'm going to select this little starburst here for example. And before I draw it, I'm going to make sure that it's set to pixels, not path or shape, because I'm going to do some effects to it after I've done it. So I'm just going to draw it right behind here. There it is. I'm going to put it behind the bottle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to my filters, and under blur, I'm going to select Gaussian blur. I'm going to set it really kind of high. See, set it really kind of high, and so it retains the effects of that of the points, but kind of creates that kind of sort of corona effect. And I may adjust this layer. Let's see what it looks like with the screen, and then adjust the opacity of it a little bit so it's not quite so intense. Like so. So let's do another one. I'm going to go back to my custom shapes tool, and let's click this kind of little clover sort of thing here. And again, I'm going to just draw my shape, pixels, kind of position it evenly behind the subject. Go back to blur, Gaussian blur. And if it's really retaining a lot of that shape, actually let's cancel this out for a second. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Nice and big. Let's go back to my Gaussian blur. And as I was saying, if you really can see a lot of the shape still, see I can still see sort of around it, you need to kind of blur it further, because it's really got to be this kind of burst of light is what you're actually creating. In this instance, I'm going to make it a little more opaque so it doesn't look quite so pink. There we go. And that's how you can create these kind of custom corona effects in Photoshop.